What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters, Canadian Caesar, Blue Rat 138, and Luis Henriquez. Thank you very much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, click the link below in the description to find out more. Thanks again. This is the end, my only friend, the end.
Damn.
Yeah. Avengers Endgame was an emotional whirlwind, especially for people like us who over the last decade have watched these films and have been nothing but mystified at how they were able to pull it off. With some of the best interpretations of the characters, you know, Tony Stark, Captain America, the Hulk. I mean, the reinvention they did of the Hulk, and also bringing back Thor from the brink with Thor Ragnarok.
That was cool. So
that was I love
Thor Ragnarok.
The reinvent, like the rejuvenation of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, the fact that they were able to pull off some of the best, films out of this, it just blew me away.
They did a lot of cool stuff.
They did. And then when we watched Avengers Infinity War...
when Spider-Man finally came into the fold.
Yeah, Civil War.
I had been waiting and waiting. I'm just like, man, you got to have Spider-Man annoying the shit out of the Avengers.
And lo and
That's
behold...
just like par for the course.
And lo and behold, what do they do in Civil War?
It happened.
Yeah. He just come out, hey, everyone.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff. And... so far, I've only had a few hiccups with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The first two Thor films, Captain Marvel. I would say the first Ant-Man had its weaknesses, but
I love the first Ant-Man.
No. I thought it was good, but
I thought they were all enjoyable to a certain degree. Just there were a lot of standouts.
Oh yeah,
you know.
To me, Civil War, Black Panther. Iron Man 1, I mean, you got to go back to where it all started, Iron Man 1. I mean, that's what started this whole roller coaster of crazy.
And that movie was great.
It was. Still is. Still holds up.
I liked Iron Man from the animated series in the 90s. They
Yeah,
had a really good one.
Yeah.
And he was in the Spider-Man animated series a couple times.
Yeah. I remember that.
And, yeah, I was a fan. But I didn't see him as like, because I wasn't really super into the comics. I hadn't really gotten into comics much outside of like, I thought Spawn was super cool, and that was the only real access to him. But I didn't understand how big of a badass Iron Man really was until I actually watched the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, now I see how this is like a leading character.
Yeah, I was introduced to him through comics a long time ago, and I followed it for a little bit, but as I grew older, I tapered off because my interest changed. And
yeah.
As it does with most of us. I mean, when we're kids, we're absorbing so much stuff so fast that we lose track
way
of
more
shit.
Into Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and Spawn, and Deadpool when he first came out. I was like, 7, and I thought he was way fucking cooler than Iron Man, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. No, fair
there
enough.
was just, and I hate when people act like you have to be an expert at everything to be a fan of it.
No.
So anytime I get into like big talks about comic books and shit like that, people always school me on the knowledge, but I liked what I liked. I don't know everything.
Well, and you see, I hate that exclusivity club that people like to put around, like, because there's a lot of big time comic heads out there that hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it's widened the gap so much on the fandom. Because the fandom now can be as casual.
It used to be super exclusive.
Yes.
Like I remember in high school, even when I was like 2007 and 6, if you wore like comic book shit to school, people would look at you like you were weird for kind of doing that.
Yeah.
It's not been within like the past 8 or 9 years where it's been like even the cool preppy kids are wearing superhero shit to school. It used to not be that way.
Dude, my sister who just graduated high school, she said out of all the guys that she graduated with, I asked her. I actually asked her about because I was asking her about shirts and stuff like that because she was wearing a Pink Floyd shirt, and I'm like, have you ever listened to a Pink Floyd album?
Yeah.
She had. She no. Here's the thing. She listened to Dark Side and she listened to The Wall and a little bit of Umaguma, and I was proud of her. But anyway, I asked her, I was like, do any of the guys at the school wear this kind of stuff, and are they knowledgeable about stuff? And she said, actually, a lot of the guys wear comic book stuff, and I'm like, really? Like what? Like, there's a lot of guys that wear Iron Man. There's a lot of guys that wear
you see
Hulk.
it everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, that's actually really cool because. And I told her, like, kind of like what you were saying. I was like, back in school, when I wore, like, a Punisher shirt or something like that, people looked at me weird. People were just like, what is that?
It's not even like, what is that? But, like, that's kid shit.
Yeah.
You're a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And it's just everything growing up and becoming more accepted in the modern-day lexicon of what is popular in the zeitgeist, and it's like, holy hell!
I was always looked at as one of the weird guys because I always wore shit like this to school.
Yeah, yeah.
Me, heavy metal shirts. And people were like, "What the hell is that?" Is he gonna kill everyone?
Yeah,
not today.
Well, I guarantee you there was a whole lot of shit thrown around like the Columbine stuff because all the panic over like Marilyn Manson and heavy metal music. It's like those kids listen to heavy metal and believed in the devil.
It was all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
It was all kinds of shit. When we were going to school, remember they had the Big Daddy shirts and stuff?
That's right.
All the like shit people would get at the fair with like
I remember that.
Boob cartoon ladies and stuff.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for a lot of my skateboarding shirts back in the day.
I got in trouble, too, for wearing a biker shirt that had Suck, Bang, and Blow on it.
Yeah.
Suck, Bang, Blow. It was a bar I think was it New Orleans, I think, where my mom got it? And she gave it to me because I thought it was cool. But
really, you know, comic book shit has gotten a lot more popular.
It has.
I don't think there's anything wrong with people being casual fans of anything.
Not at all. But Avengers Endgame was sort of a precipice for a lot of us fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and went out on a high note.
Yeah, it was.
A very high note. And Honest Trailers did a video highlighting this. This is Honest Trailers, Avengers Endgame. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Presented by The Boys, taking the fight to superheroes. Watch now, only on Amazon
I've
Prime
seen it.
Video.
I'm not sure what I think about it yet.
Yeah, I'm fair on it. I think it has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
After 21 MCU movies, prepare for the final conclusion of the Infinity Saga. And also part 2 of Infinity War, penultimate film of Phase 3, intro to Phase 4, and backdoor pilot for about 3 Disney Plus shows. Whew, you remember when movies just, ended, and then your imagination had to take over? Ugh, sounds exhausting. Avengers Endgame. The most successful crowd-pleasing global film franchise is back. But since life on Earth sucks now, it's all about grief. Loss.
Lost again.
Guilt.
It's supposed to be me.
Depression.
Are you crying?
And despair.
The hell should have killed all of us.
Because today's escapist fantasy isn't becoming a superhero. It's going back to fix your mistakes instead of scraping by in the waking nightmare of your own failure. Can I do a time heist on my life? 5 years have passed since half the population vanished, or as introverts call it, winning the lottery.
Wow.
Ah, that looks nice. Baseball remains unpopular. Culture got frozen in 2017.
Damn.
And an actor shortage has forced directors to cast themselves.
I cried.
Yeah, it's one of the Russo brothers.
Now, the Avengers must band together to do what every big franchise does when they write themselves into a corner. Time travel. Watch the surviving heroes dissemble for a Now That's What I Call Marvel tour of your fandom, with several alternate camera angles on the Avengers.
I'll have that drink now.
A trip to the SHIELD base where they store all the movie's closure.
Thank you for everything.
The cliffs that demand you lose someone you love. or at least your work bestie, and a daring raid to justify the existence of Thor the Dark World, in a plot held together by a whole bunch of wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey stuff they'll try to explain 100 times.
Either it's all a joke or none of it is.
None of it's a joke. Now explain yourself.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
Now explain it again with a visual aid.
The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Remove one of the stones, and that flow splits.
Now explain it again, but simpler.
We're not trying to stop something I'm going to do in our time. We're trying to undo something I've already done in theirs.
Even simpler.
Changing the past doesn't change the future.
You know, maybe time travel's a paradox, no matter how it gets justified. See? Reunite with all your favorite Marvel heroes who aren't clogging up an air filter somewhere. Like Iron Man, who's really matured since Iron Man 1, but is still the a-hole who'd rather die than let someone else get the last word.
I am inevitable.
I am Iron Man.
Captain America,
Exactly.
who after spending a decade in the present day, has learned to curse,
Son of a bitch. Oh, you got me
lie,
Language.
and look at guys' butts.
That is America's ass.
Thor, who it's okay to make fat jokes about, because he's also suffering from a very realistic post-traumatic stress disorder.
What do you think is coursing through my veins right now?
Cheese whiz.
He's
Yes.
struggling. The Hulk, who cut down on the runtime by finishing his arc before the movie starts.
I know, it's crazy.
Hawkeye, who deals with the loss of his family by having a very cyberpunk midlife crisis. Ant-Man, who thanks to the internet's brain poisoning is a letdown every time he's not inside Thanos' ass.
Jesus.
Black Widow, who finally gets a primary storyline in one of these movies, killing herself to motivate the boys.
We have to make it worth it.
At least you can tell the passage of time by her hair. That's something. Rhodey, hoping and praying they don't travel back before Iron Man 2. Who wins the Avengers title so many times, the most helpful thing she does is kill Nebula. And Captain
Damn.
Marvel, who's so powerful, the movie desperately finds excuses to leave her out
The things that are happening on Earth are happening everywhere. So you might not see me for a long time.
until it comes up with an excuse to bring her in. So Marvel can finally have her lead the first all-female Avengers team-up shot. Woo! Maybe Marvel will let them team up together in a sequel? Ugh. Okay, maybe they can all pose again in the background of the Loki show? Remember Thanos, the MCU's most complex and motivated villain yet. He did.
He did.
And taking his place is old Thanos. New old Thanos. Younger old Thanos? You know, the version who sits and lets everyone else do all the work.
Find the stones.
What will you do?
Wait.
Who steals his evil plans from Spaceballs.
Reduce to atoms.
You used them 2 days ago.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now.
What you do to them?
Nothing. Yet.
Go back to then. When? Now. Now? Now. I can't. Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
And who commands a faceless CGI army, the likes of which we have never seen before, since his last 2 faceless CGI armies. But whatever, watching him fight Thundercat was the best moment of my life, and I'm including the birth of my children, guys. Sorry, kids, you're just not worthy of my time.
Oh,
So
damn.
in a world where everyone hates Game of Thrones now, everyone's worried about Star Wars, and J.K. Rowling won't stop crapping on the floor of her legacy, it's a minor miracle we got a satisfying conclusion to a global nerd franchise. Now just do it again, forever, or the entire film industry will collapse. No sympathy from us, Disney. You did this to yourself.
Yeah.
Starring Iron Deficient Man,
Ouch.
One Punch Woman, Captain Clench,
One Punch Woman.
Yeah, Captain Clinch. It's the same. Yeah, it's the jaw right there.
and Hardly Wait. Iron Roots, BoJack Norseman, Jeremy Renner's one big line of acting.
Go grab your hammer, and you go fly and you talk to him.
Go downstairs. Go help. They need you right now. We need more Russos. Give me more Russos.
Assemble.
Yeah.
He's the ex-girlfriend. Werther's original Avenger.
Oh.
Ratman and Time Van. Coming soon to Disney Plus. I Love You 2.8 billion.
Yeah. Well, It is now officially the highest grossing
Oh my
film
God.
of all time.
Your mobile plan is still active? Clint, you gotta turn off autopay, man. Did this on his trailer. Cast Black on you? That's a D&D spell,
Right.
which you know by now if you watched our new episode of Fandom Uncovered, Dungeons
Wow.
and Dragons. This episode was brought to you by the boys.
Jesus
Watch the new
Christ, I
series
can't
only on
believe I
Amazon
didn't think
Prime
about
Video.
that. It's true.
You thought it was Epic Voice Guy, but it was me, Dio. I am
Awesome.
inevitable. I am Groot.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I am Iron Man.
I am Batman.
Nice.
Okay. I didn't think about that. Clint, what the hell, man? You're still paying for that voice. Oh.
I mean,
It does a
he's
ton
probably
higher
got
than
a
makes
lot
sense.
of money.
Probably.
Being a super secret badass for years.
Either that,
Probably
or
pays
it's either
pretty
that,
well.
or because of his work for the government, they just gave him an infinite plan. I mean, I think the least you could do for the guy is give him like an infinite phone plan.
I need one of those.
I do too. Yeah, I need an infinite phone plan. It's like,
I ain't paying for shit.
hell no, I ain't paying for that. Shit, no.
He had a lot of good points.
Yeah,
It doesn't make the movie any less awesome.
no, it doesn't. I mean,
But it is funny as fuck.
well, people have poked a bunch of holes in Days of Future Past, and I agree, but that still doesn't make it a very entertaining film. I mean, same thing here. You poke holes in this all day and night, but it still doesn't detract from the fact that it's actually a very well-made film. The Russos did, just like they did in Civil War and just like they did in Infinity War, they managed to make an ensemble film where it doesn't really feel like anyone's being left out.
Yeah.
That's miraculous.
Well, that is until Black Widow gets left out permanently.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Scarlett Johansson.
She gone.
Yeah. I don't think they quite grasping the fact that she gone.
She gone.
She gone. Indeed. And the funny thing about Black Widow is that it's only after they kill her that she's officially getting a film.
Makes sense to me.
Me too.
Totally.
I mean, why the hell not? But overall, I'm still very pleased with Avengers Endgame. I still want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in theaters, and I want to see it one more time. I mean, it is also the highest-grossing film of all time. It officially passed up James Cameron's Avatar not too long ago, and people were flipping out about it, like, "Oh my God, it's the highest-grossing film of all time!" And I'm like, did you really expect anything different? I mean,
I'm trying to see a Punisher movie, a good one.
From what I'm understanding, with them yanking all the stuff off of Netflix, the reason for it is because they're pulling in all their other properties for potential films. Potential.
I mean, everybody was into that show, and then it was just over with. Daredevil's the same way. I mean, don't get me wrong. The rest of the shit on Netflix, I didn't really like.
I liked Luke Cage. I'll say this about Iron Fist. The first season was not good. Second season was a lot
Iron
better.
Fist was my favorite out of the rest of them.
Really?
By far, yeah.
Fair enough. And I will say this as well. The Jessica Jones, loved the first season. Watched the first season all the way through. But I couldn't get into the second one. I don't know what it was.
I just don't care about her low self-esteem sluttiness. I don't. And that's like her driving character trait. I had a hard life. I sleep around. I'm upset. It's like, okay.
Well,
she had one of the coolest villains.
Oh, dude.
Ever.
Yeah, Kilgrave.
Oh
Kilgrave's
my
a great
God.
villain. And plus, a great actor to play him.
Do you know
David Tennant?
Did you watch any of that? This
I
guy's
haven't seen
power
like any
was
of the series.
suggestion. Anything he says, you're powerless to not do it, and that is creepy as shit.
And not only that, they got David freaking Tennant, a.k.a. the 10th Doctor, to play him.
But just suggestion was his power.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's a great villain.
He could just look at you and just be like, walk out into traffic and lie down.
You're done. Nothing you can do about it.
And then all of a sudden he'd look at Chad and just be like, peel your skin off.
Yeah. And you start, like, literally, I mean, it's bad.
He was very inventive with his tortures. Yeah. He knew how to mentally break people.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So, he did that to Jessica. He did that to everybody.
I guess that's a good thing about that show, but other than that, I really didn't like it.
Well, the fact that, he's not in the series anymore after the first season. Yeah. It's just like, well, it kind of puts the hamper on things.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, for the Netflix series, I thought it was good. I thought what they did, for the most part, was good. But from them yanking all those shows off the air, they may be gearing up for a little bit of a darker edge, because you look at Blade on the horizon.
Ooh.
Played by Mahershala Ali.
I'm so pumped for that.
Mahershala Ali is a great actor. And the fact that they're pulling him in to play this shows you that they're being serious about it. And I want them to be serious, because this is Blade we're talking about. One of the more complex, like, Marvel hero backstories out there.
They're taking a risk with it, and yeah, it's a huge complex backstory, and it's awesome. But their biggest hurdle is going to be, this is them going to make movies where there have been really good movies already made.
Well, yeah, I'll say
Not
this:
to
the
say
first
that
two
Spider-Mans
Blade
weren't good; they were pretty good. But the Blade movies are much better than the old Spider-Man movies.
I'll say this: the first two Blade movies.
Yeah,
the first one was actually really good. The second one surprised me with just how good it was, because I was expecting them to just take it light on it, but no, they got Guillermo del Toro to direct it. They got in a great stunt team. They got Ron Perlman to play one of the villains.
Yeah.
They got Norman Reedus. They had a lot of really good stuff going for them.
Yeah.
And then Blade Trinity came out, and I'm like,
I loved it.
I didn't.
I thought it was awesome.
No, I get that. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to expand the heroes that could be in this universe. To which I liked Hannibal, and I liked Whistler's daughter.
Yeah.
I thought they were both very good characters. I mean, you have to have a wisecracker in there, and who's a better wisecracker who can still be taken like semi-seriously than Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah,
and also having Jessica Biel in there as her own character.
Right. I mean, that scene where she's getting attacked by vampires in the subway station.
Yeah,
and just has like a arrow stabbing them through the throat and shit, and like kicks everybody's ass.
She can take care of herself.
That was such a cool scene to start the movie with. I was just like.
Yeah, and
fuck yeah.
And also, I'll say this: Wesley Snipes as Blade, really good casting. Really good casting. I can see why.
Good.
Yeah,
but that's all I'm saying is with that, it's one of the first times they're coming up against movies made in the past that they have to deliver on, or else people will be like, not as good as the old ones, not even close.
And that's hey, if they're willing to take the risk on it. The only thing I'm going to request is that you release it through Touchstone and make it rated R. That's all I'm going to request. Don't do this PG-13 nonsense where you cut away from the throat slashing and the cut and the dicing and the slicing. Be gritty, be hard, and be honest with us when it comes to this shit. This isn't some kabuki theater where you can throw blood spray on a white background and everyone's satisfied. No, you have to show us the violence, which is what Blade has almost always been about.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a violent world that Blade lives in, and you cannot personify that by pantomime. You have to show it. And you have to be inventive with it. That's just like, I thought whenever they did the second Blade film, I'm like, okay, there's no way that they can possibly replicate or step above the violence that they did in the first. Oh, they're doing it immediately. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because the opening scene alone.
But don't be stupid with it like they were with Punisher Warzone. Warzone was.
Oh, man.
It was too much.
That was such. God, dude. I swear to God, that had to be.
Punisher Warzone was really bad.
That had to be, to me, one of the most disappointing things, because we had the Thomas Jane Punisher, which was decent.
Pretty good.
It was decent.
John Travolta was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, made a great villain. I liked it.
Oh, yeah. Howard Saint. He was a good villain as Howard Saint. But, yeah, just so many things they could have done with a sequel to expand on the Thomas Jane Punisher. But then the executives at the studio were just like, well, it didn't make as much money as we were hoping. And, we gave you this much money. It's like, yeah, you cut our budget in the first film because you didn't want to film the Afghanistan scene. Because there was originally an Afghanistan scene that was going to add more to Frank's background.
Yeah.
And they cut the budget right then and there on them. And they were like, okay, so this entire thing that we had planned out here, you're not going to do it. Nope. Okay. Well, okay, now we got to pad out an extra 15 to 20 minutes of the film. And
I think they did a decent job.
No, they did. They did. The fight scene with him and Kevin Nash was awesome.
Yeah.
The Russian fight scene.
Yes, it was.
Was balls to the wall awesome. I
I
remember me and my dad in the theater watching that. My dad laughing his ass off.
But Warzone was a response in part, I believe, to Iron Man coming out like 9 or 10 months before it did. It came out near the end of the year, and they were trying to capitalize off of a superhero movie that was rated R and super violent, and all took place pretty much in this one building, and it was just super brutal. And
well, you see, certain cases that works. For instance,
it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. In certain cases, well, it's because they didn't vary up the action, and it was all pretty much the same basic bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas a movie, say, The Raid Redemption, you and me watched that. That took place.
That's kind of what I was thinking of. I was like, that's a movie that takes place in one building.
Probably one of the best martial arts films you will ever see.
Yeah, badass.
Look, it could be great in another setting, another circumstance.
Yeah, but this is the Punisher.
But yeah, they boxed the Punisher in, and it's like that. What took place there was normally one scene in a Punisher movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying.
It was just him vested up, going in, taking care of business.
Yeah.
You don't get the full Punisher experience, and it was kind of a letdown.
Yeah. Well, God. Yeah, we could gab on about this on and on, but we got to move on to other things.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, Marvel stuff. We love it. So, anyway, this was Honest Trailers Avengers Endgame. If you all liked what you saw here and you want to see more, click the link in the description down below. It'll take you to Honest Trailers' original video, where Honest Trailers has, let's see how many subs now. They have 6.6 Screen Junkies. They have 6.6 million subscribers, and they have a whole lot of these Honest Trailers. And, yeah, if you want to see more from them, feel free. If you want to see more from us, we have a subscribe button right down there below the feet of Nick and Chad. And, yeah, feel free to hit that and hit the bell to stay notified on when we upload videos. And if you want to leave a comment down below, greatly appreciate it. If you want to like this video, greatly appreciate it as well. And I guess, actually, you know what? I'm going to like and comment on this video as well. See if you can find the comment on the Avengers Endgame Honest Trailers video. And, yeah, don't forget to check out our Patreon and our Discord. And we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Peace out.